Can you explain why he left the band? Do you know why he left the band?
Yeah,
Gillan?
because he was being ripped off, as we all were, and sadly he found some concrete proof of it when we were on tour in Germany, and we'd been asking for accounts, and we were pretty successful, and we were selling out tours all over the world, and we were still, all of us, still struggling, and it was hard to understand why we weren't getting the rewards, and so Bernie did his own investigations and found out how much money we weren't getting, and confronted Ian with it and said, unless, we get some accounts, I'm going. And Ian makes a big shout about, it was something to do with Bernie not wanting to do a Top of the Pops show.
That's the question I was going to ask, because that's the
That's just absolute crap.
Mm.
We were all ready to do anything with that band. We worked hard, and that was just a coincidental thing that we did have a day off coming up, and the opportunity was there to go on TV in the UK. Of course, you're going to say yes to it, but Bernie used it at that time. The previous show, he just said, Ian, if I don't see the accounts and get explanations of what's happening, I'm going. And he got up the next morning and he went. And it's so hard to explain, but people say to me, well, how come you didn't go? Well, I trusted Ian 100% from day one. I mean, I trusted him to stand by what he said. He wasn't going to rip us off. He was Ian Gillan. He was a millionaire. We went to shows in his Rolls Royce, for Christ's sake. And I can remember when Bernie left that morning, sitting down with Mick Underwood and talking to him about it. Well, Mick had known Ian the longest. Ian is Mick's daughter's godfather. Mick got Ian the gig in Deep Purple. They were very, very close old friends. They'd been in that band Episode 6 before. And Mick said to me, I don't know what's happening with Bernie. I don't know if it's right or wrong. But, Ian wouldn't do that to me. But unfortunately he did. And he did it to Colin as well, which is incredible considering that Colin had stuck by him all those years. It's very, very, very sad.
It is. Ian says that he was losing money. Can you rationalise how that could be possible if you're, selling out venues and?
Well, if the band was losing money, let's see the accounts.
So with the band with Gillan and Magic, how did it actually dissolve? Was it like you did a gig and Ian said, "Look, we're having a break"? How did it sort of? Was there a conclusion? Did he have a conversation, or was it just left in the air? You just did a gig and that was it?
It was a real shocker, and it really hurts. Very disappointing that I started seeing flyers attached to the posters of the tour, that farewell tour. I said, what's this about farewell tour? And Colin said, we're going to stop at the end of this. What? Maybe I was on a different planet, but I I wasn't really aware. I wasn't aware of what was happening. I must have seemed very naive. I think I was naive at the time because I did the whole thing because of music. I loved the music and I loved the band. But cut the story short, basically we did the Wembley gig, and previously the weeks leading up to that gig, the shows that we were doing, Ian was traveling separately, different hotels, and he had a bodyguard at the side of the stage, which I don't know what that meant. Why was that guy there? And at the end of the show, Wembley, Ian disappeared and left all of us saying, well, where's Ian? And he'd already left the building, as the saying goes. And the band and crew were left. I mean, the crew just were devastated and lost because they hadn't been paid. And I had to rent a van in the middle of the night and unload all my gear into it and get it out of Wembley. I mean, that was a pretty sad end.
Absolutely. Did you ever see him after? Is that the last time you ever saw Ian Gillan?
Yeah, that's the last time I ever spoke to him. Yeah.
Wow.
I saw him. I went to the management office, and he was there, and he disappeared out the back door, and I haven't seen him since.
Right.
We made a lot of efforts over the years to speak to him, discuss what's happening, but as I said, not at all. It's such a shame. It's so disappointing too. I'm sure that the fans that are listening to this find it incredible. Well, I do find it incredible also, because my hero let me down in the biggest possible way. We had fantastic success, but the results of that success are kept secret, and I lost a lot. And there you go. It's a sad ending to such a great band.
Absolutely. So none of the other band members, they were in the same boat as you. That was the last time they saw Ian Gillan when he left the stage at Wembley. That's it.
Yeah, well, I know that Yannick has done a couple of things and seen Ian, because, as I said, his involvement and arrangement was completely
different. He was probably oblivious to the machinations of what was happening.
Like the long-term members. I mean, I spoke to Colin Towns recently, and he still says he'll never, ever work with Ian again, which is so sad, because they did some great songs, some great work together. And, Colin, is in the same boat.
Absolutely. So hypothetically, John, imagine you're in an airport lounge and you see Ian Gillan a couple of rows away. Would you go up to him and say something, or you just let it go?
I probably might say something, but I don't know what it would be.
Yeah, but you would go up to him and say something.
I doubt if I'd be able to reach him. He probably leaves the situation. If he saw me first, I think he doesn't want to answer the questions, which are still hanging in the air. It's so very, very sad.